I am a bag. I am a bag.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make the Emma at 80%. Get out of here. It's so cute. When I was editing Sewing the Emma, what a wreck that video was, but it's still out there anyway. I had said it would be cute mini, and I was like, oh yeah. So I printed it out at 80%. And made a couple changes. I do go over that in the video and in the cutting video, but it is adorable. I did add that slip pocket to the back side. You can't even see it, but I just added one layer of the nylon and it's unlined. Not a big deal, but I love having a slip pocket in the back just to throw things in. So I'll give you, I used the webbing I had left, which was about 17 inches. So if you are someone who doesn't love a dangle on your webbing, and you're about my size maybe, then the 17 inches was good. And you just gotta pull to get that into place. Oh my gosh. It's because of the debossed, it adds a little extra grip to the webbing. But I chose to add a snap hook because I don't have any D-rings, but I like that there. I would clip like my ID there when traveling. But here is what that looks like. I don't know if you can see it well or not, probably, but I think it's really cute. It's comfortable. I like it. It's just a cute little mini backpack. You could make a little snap loop to go around the handles if you weren't a fan of them kind of sitting up and open like that, or you could omit them completely. But I think it's kind of nice to be able to grab the backpack in that way. But I hope you enjoy this tutorial. I love the way it turned out. And don't forget to comment and subscribe and all that jazz. Okay, bye. Oh, hi. Go sew it. Okay. I am pulling out the pieces I need to make the Emma backpack at 80%. Hopefully it'll turn out okay. I do have a cutting video for this bag if you are interested in checking that out. So I won't really be going over what I cut, how to cut it, etc. Just FYI. I'm just going to be putting it together as best as I can. So we're going to start, I'm not going to be doing any quilting to this bag, but we're going to start with that zipper pocket on the front.
I'm touching your ear.
Oh, nice.
Can I touch a toy?
Yeah, it's fine. So we've got our
spider webs.
probably cobwebs, yeah.
I hate them. I hate spiders.
Yeah, me too, babe. All right, so I'm going to cut my
They're
zipper tape.
adorable, but I hate them. They always guess what? Lucas said a huge spider crawled up him.
Ooh,
And
that's
went up his, and went in his clothes.
terrifying.
Yeah.
So we need 3 zipper pulls for this section.
Hi. I stepped over your cord.
Thank you.
Step in.
Adding my zipper pull.
Pretend I peek. Hello, Mommy.
Thanks. The problem is you're shaking the camera. Yeah, you need to stop.
Hello.
How about you come do it to this one while I'm not sewing?
What?
Come do it to this one while I'm not sewing. All right, so for this measurement, you would technically want to multiply it by 0.8 but I'm gonna guess that it would be about a quarter difference. So I'm gonna lay my ruler about there. I'm gonna find my center and make sure the print is going the direction I would like. And then most important is to make sure that you've got enough seam allowance on either side. So let's just make sure that's centered. Okay, I think that looks fine. The inside of my zipper overlay is kind of crooked, so it's throwing me off as far as measurements go, but that'll be fine. Here we go. And then we'll start by sewing along the outside edge. Pulling our threads to the back. We'll tie that off and then cut away any excess. The only interfacing that I have added, Dorothy, could you not play so close to the tripod? You just hit it and shook the camera. I know, it's okay, you didn't mean to. Could you play on the rug maybe? Or maybe play on that side of the trampoline so you're a little further away from the tripod?
Sorry.
No, don't say sorry, you can just move so that you don't keep hitting it.
She's playing with it.
All right, we're going to cut away the excess from under the overlay, just being very careful we don't cut through our fabric. Okay, there is that. So then we can tape our zipper into place. And because I used the overlay printed at 80%, the inside is a little smaller, but I'm okay with that. It's just gonna have less room for the tape itself to show, which I don't feel like is a big deal. Yeah, perfect. We'll just tape this down so that the teeth are as centered as possible. Okay. And then I learned this from a recent core threads pattern, and this might even be the way that I mean, this is probably the way some other people do zipper overlays, but I'm finding it to be less
What is she doing?
sewing. I don't know. All right, so we're gonna start at the bottom side. And there are all different ways to do an overlay. You just pick whatever your favorite is and go with it. I'm doing this for right now, but I'm not going to always do it. I made 3 of the Sharon handbag, so I used that method 3 times. So in my head, that's like the most recent. And so that's where my brain goes. Okay, tie that off. We'll press that down. And then this one gets taped into place next. And then we'll close that off. And I'm moving my zipper out of the way as I go. And zipper overlays are really quick for me to sew because I've been doing them for so long, but if things take you a little bit longer, that's okay. Okay, and then we're going to completely close that off. Trim up any excess or just stitch through the proper amount. And then we can just leave the excess. So then we've got a cute little zipper pocket there. Okay. And then we're going to work on our zipper panel for this pocket. And there's A and B. And all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to apply 1/8 inch wide double-sided tape where my zipper will go. And keep in mind this pattern is designed for a 3/8 inch seam allowance. However, because we have shrunk the pattern down to 80%, technically your seam allowance also needs to be 80% of that. So I'm going to do my best to kind of stay in between 1/4 and 3/8. I think the final construction I'll just do 3/8 because of the binding. But then that's okay because that means overall just that area is a little different. Okay. So we'll go ahead and cut our zipper. It's a little bit bigger. I thought this pink would be really cute with this. And I'm gonna add 2 zipper pulls. This isn't necessary, especially for the size of it, but I just love the ease of 2 zippers. And you just want to make sure that when you add those together, there isn't like a weird little bulge happening or a gap. And I had a gap, so I'm going to just take them both off and try again. Yeah, it should be nice and flush and sit as closed as possible. Okay. Laying this up against my taped edge. And I like to cut my zipper tape a little bit longer than need be so that I can just kind of slide my zipper pulls out of the way. And I'll keep a little clip at the end so they don't fall off. We just spent all that time putting them on. Why would we want to risk them coming off? We wouldn't. And then line up right sides together, your exterior and your lining over that edge. And then like I said, this is where we want to do like right in between 3/8 and 1/4 since we shrank the pattern down. And then just finger press the lining nice and flat first, and then worry about your exterior. That way you get a nice fold and you're not fighting both sides at the same time. And then we're going to top stitch this. And I'm just pulling that edge as I go. I'm not worried about making it all sit flat right now. Just doing a little bit at a time. There's that. So then we're going to work on that smaller side. My exterior right now is face up, so I need to grab my other exterior. Thank you, baby. Do you need a Kleenex? Okay. So we'll peel that. And then line up the short edge to match the other side. We'll tape that down, and then we're going to flip that over so that our linings are then touching. It's really crazy that Jenny didn't release this pattern in, 3 different sizes, because she normally does. Also, I'm kidding. Press that open. And press that flat. That, and then we're going to add our little gusset pieces so that the curve starts to curve at the short side. I'm going to base that on at like 1/8 right now. We're going to pull our zipper pulls in. This should then be mirrored. That curve starts at the short end. And I'm just basting that on. Flip this over, make sure the curves match. And I'm going to cut, I don't normally, well, no, I can do that. I like to keep my zipper tape long inside the seam, but I am going to cut away my little cutting discrepancy. That way when I lay this piece, it's nice and lined up.
Mommy.
Hi, baby.
He's a walk far away from her home. Her home is all the way over there. Look, to space.
Anna lives in space.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're gonna do
She's
about a
actually
quarter.
Space princess. She's actually a space princess, and she floats.
That is so
Just
cool.
like the girl in Mario.
Peach?
Yeah. No.
Oh, Rosalina?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's Rosalina.
Quarter inch.
Actually, she's kind of like Rosalina.
Just giving everything a little haircut.
She's kind of like the Mario for Space Girl, but she's different.
And then we're gonna press that
Fly.
down.
She has wings. She's using her wings right now. She's actually an angel. There's an angel. There's an angel.
Clip that all together.
There's a space angel. There's a space
And top stitch.
angel.
Oh, cool. So we'll top stitch that seam flat, and then we're gonna baste around everything. Okay, and then we're gonna finish that off down here. And if you didn't feel like baste stitching this all together, you could just use double-sided tape to stick it, but basting works just well, enough, like it works fine. I'm gonna trim this excess lining. I rough cut my lining pieces, so I knew I would need to do some trimming, but that is something that I don't mind doing. All right, so now we're going to find the center. I like to line it up and then clip.
I'm pretending Olaf's baby sister Elsa, and the newborn baby is, maybe, how can this come off? Accidentally. I didn't know this comes off. I was twisting it, and then it came off. Like, when I was twisting it, this happened.
Hey, how about you stop twisting it?
Oh, it looks so cool in there. See? Look, it looks so cool in there.
Oh yeah, you see the layers of wood in the table?
Yeah.
Okay, so
You
now,
can put thread in here if you don't need it. And you still need it, but you can put it in here.
Yeah.
Cool. Like this
the
is
short side.
like this smashes the thread. It's like a smash threader.
Yeah.
So you put thread in here, or like fabric, and you chop it.
Chop it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I'm just going to keep it so you can pull it. I'm
Okay.
just going to keep it like that. If you want. So it can be a thread fabric smasher.
Yeah. That way the curve is going this way.
No.
So the smaller portion, yes.
I'm the queen.
Okay. Can you please stop yelling, Dorothy?
I am the queen. I'm the queen.
All right, we're going to clip that together there. And the straight edge gets lined up with the straight edge of the gusset. So I'm just going to clip that there. Clip that there. And flat at the bottom. And then we'll just slowly start to kind of pinch this to create that curved gusset. And whatever you do to one side, go ahead and do to the other. Don't work your way from one side to the center to the other side. Work your way up to meet the center so you don't lose anything. You could staple this if you needed to and then remove those staples. And then if need be, you might need to add some relief snips. And those will just help the pieces fit together perfectly.
Hello.
Hello.
That's Space Unicorn.
Hello.
Hello. I was just writing my cutie.
No, nice. And just remember you have less space because this is a smaller version of the bag.
Smaller?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it smaller?
I printed it out at 80%. Okay, so we'll just clip that and hope nothing shifts. So we'll sew this at 1/8 because the next side is going to be close to 1/4 inch. And just keep that curve pinched together. Oh, leave your needle down if you can. I'm using my other hand to press the gusset around the curve. I'm lifting to see a little bit of my exterior and making sure it's lined up with the lining. And then just kind of slowly adjusting around that curve.
Are these Taylor bracelets?
Mm-hmm.
Did Taylor give them to you?
No.
You got them?
I got them at the concert, yeah.
I want a weird one.
Okay, so now,
What does this say?
I'm not sure from here, Dorothy. I can't read it.
I really
This is the lining of that piece.
want
Yes.
I really want one. They're so cute.
What happened to the bracelets you got from the girls at the restaurant?
Says B-O-O. Boo. B-O-O. B-O-O. I like these better. And also the rainbow ones.
Okay, so we'll start at the top. And we're going to clip this from the other side so we can see our existing stitches. No, baby.
Wow.
Because you have your own. And then we're going to line up the bottom.
I want one from Taylor.
I don't have any from Taylor.
Yes, you do.
Those are from the concerts.
They're from Taylor. They're from Taylor and the concert. Taylor gave you one, and then you got it from the concert.
Oh, okay.
I know all about you. Because my brain remembered it.
Okay. Clipping into that. You could also technically finish this with binding. If you wanted to sew it as more of a bound seam where you put your exterior and your lining together first and then attach that, but this is less binding. But I still have to sew it twice. Now the bottom is going to stay open. And we're just going to sew along the same place we've already sewn. Pressing everything else out of the way. We're going to go to about 1/4 inch. Hey, Dorothy, please go ask your father, okay? He can print them too. No. Go ask your dad.
I feel there are colored pages down here with baby circles, but I don't know where are they.
Make sure you move your zipper pulls if need be.
Do you know where the paintbrushers are?
No, baby, I don't.
Do you need this?
No, please set it down. And then make sure that your centers didn't get misaligned as you were moving all that. Totally thought my bobbin thread ran out. I was like, we're not even that far in. Alrighty. So now I think in the pattern you can trim down that seam allowance, but I don't need to. It's pretty small as is. You could also add a couple little snips to help it sit better, but I think it'll be fine. No, please don't do that. Don't hang on the shelf. You don't need to. You're okay. I don't know. Help her down. What? I cannot do that right now. Straighten your pocket lining. Okay, and then we can top stitch that. Oh, it looks so cute. All right. Yeah. Go ask him. I'm tempted to not top stitch it, but it'll sit nicer if I do. So, okay, fine, I will. So we're gonna flip that out so that what we're about to top stitch sits a little flatter. And we're gonna start down here at the bottom. Back stitch. And just kind of pull on that seam. And you're sewing through a bit of bulk with this because you're going through the seam allowance. So if need be, you can increase your stitch length, especially if you're on a domestic, because it may want to shorten your stitches going over that bulk. And then we'll just, stitch the bottom. Trying to think, like, where do I want a nameplate to go, but I don't know. Okay. Now that we have that top stitched, we want to mark our bottom center. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. So now we want to attach our exterior to the curved panel. Line up the centers, right sides are together, and this is going to line up oh wait. Do I need to add lining first? I think I need to add the lining first. Match up that bottom center as well, because that is important. And now this pocket piece would be a great place to add little cargo pockets or an extra little slip pocket if you know exactly what you're putting inside of those. You know, like little electronic pieces or cords or something like that. Would be cute. So now we're going to baste that together. And just be mindful of how large your basting stitch is, because we don't have much seam allowance wiggle room. Do your best to keep your centers lined up and then move your zippers out of the way. I don't know that I would have used number 3 zipper tape. I still think number 5 is good. But if you were to shrink this bag down even more, you might want to consider number 3 zipper tape. Okay. Okay. Yeah, like that. Right sides together. And then imagine you flip that up. And this should all fit together nicely. This flat edge should line up the flat edge there. So I might need to add a couple little snips. So I've got 4 there, that's good. Line up the flat side. And then we just need to make a couple snips into this curve. Just really little to help that fit better. And then I'm just pinching that together nice and flat around that curve. Just kind of an oxymoron, a flat curve, but it is what you want to do. Make sure there's no puckering. Okay, and then 1/4 inch-ish. Just a little bit over 1/4 for this size bag. I just don't want anyone to be making the regular size and think they need to make these adjustments, because no, this is for the 80%. Just trimming that little square piece off. Looks pretty good. Now you do not top stitch this piece here. You want that to just sit as is. Of course, it's covered in ever more hair. But then you've got this great little front pocket, which you can just kind of straighten out a little bit. And then we'll zip that. So there is that so far. Now we can grab our zipper tabs and that long zipper pocket lining. Yep, zipper tabs, and then we'll need, ooh, how much? So it says an 11-inch zipper, so 11 times 0.8 is 8.8. So I'm going to do 8.75. 8 7/8-ish. Hopefully I have enough zipper tape. I can do the interior pocket in a different color. Not a big deal. Zipper pull. Okay. Didn't get the zipper straight on there. There we go. Did I? Yeah. I'm going to take a lighter, melt that, and then we're going to cut these in half. And these are the zipper tabs. Okay, lining is going to go right side up on one end of the zipper. Exterior, right side up on the other end of the zipper. So zipper right side up, lining right side up, exterior is face down. We're going to do a 1/4 inch. And then we're going to press that open and top stitch. Okay. So now this is going to get sewn to the exterior main panel as is. And we'll also be attaching a little accent piece. And these are our lining pieces, which are smaller by design. So make sure your zipper is in the direction you want it to be. And we're going to put that at the bottom, face down. I'm going to have to stand for this. And my zipper tabs are a little bit longer. I don't mind. It's just going to hang off the edge so long as you've got your zipper centered. Okay. And since that's taped, we can just lay our lining down over top of that. I didn't tape it, so I'm just going to clip it. And you want to sew that all the way at 1/4-ish. All right, we're going to press this flat first, and then flip that down and flat. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to top stitch that. All the way. We want to add our lining piece to the back. This one I am going to tape down so that I'm not dealing with keeping it all lined up just right. And then we'll peel the tape to add our upper accent. And this has a little taper at the top, so keep that in mind. Line that up. My tabs are a little bit bigger, so I'm not lining it up with the tab, I'm lining it up with the center. There's that. So this is going to be that 1/4-ish. And it has a little lip on the other side with that seam allowance size that it should be. Okay, and then we're going to top stitch this. That's right. I'll close that off in a second. That's okay. All right, I'm going to trim my excess tab off. Oh, it's so precious. Okay, we've got to close up our zipper pocket here. And then we've got these zipper tabs to like top stitch over. And you don't want to fold these to meet up because then your pocket is going to be crooked. There will be some excess you can trim off. I'm just going to leave it attached and sew to the back edge because I can feel the difference in the layers. We're sewing up to that line. And this pocket lining is smaller by design so that it doesn't affect your seam allowances. However, if you know your machine can handle that bulk, then you're fine. Now we've got this big gap to now stitch up. So what I'm gonna do is just sew in a U shape over that tab and match it up with my top stitching. Yep, and that closes that off. And so I'll repeat that on this side. Oh, nice. Okay.
Afterwards, the dragon, and Dad's the guy of me.
Nice. Hey, will you hand me my lip stuff on the top of the purple thing? The pink lip stuff? Little pink. Yes. Yes. That's why you have children. Thank you. Have fun. Love you. So, I think cutting your zipper tape just a little bit shorter than the lining would probably be a good idea. I've got this hole right here, but I think I can just add some glue and call it good. I did my best. But yeah, I just barely didn't catch that. Okay, hope that's fine. Dang. All right, we'll leave that clipped for now. We've got our upper attached, and now we need to work on our handles. I am not going to be adding any webbing. I feel like that makes it a really thick handle, which is fine. But you could also, if you're just trying to reinforce it, add binding, bag binding, or some ribbon, and that would work. But depending on the size of your bag, you would make that call. Or the type of vinyl. If you're using a vinyl that has quite a bit of stretch, you definitely want to do everything you can to omit said stretch. And if you don't like the look of the handles, you don't have to add them. Not a big deal. All right, so I'm going to fold this in half to create a faux rolled handle. And I'm going to do 2.5 instead of the 3 inches the pattern suggests. And whatever mark you make, just do it on the same side. You don't need it on both. I'm gonna fold that in half and top stitch. And I feel like just this single layer of vinyl for the size of this bag is going to be more than enough. Take my lighter to the edge of that thread. Okay, oh, that's so cute. That's perfect. I die. All right. And now, so it says 4 inches, but we're gonna multiply that by 0.8. So these should be about 5.5 inches apart. So 2 1/4 from the center. Is where we want to put those handles, and it goes right at the edge of that. And this will flip up. So you want, yeah, like that. Outside edge. There we go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not liking the way that sits, so I'm going to line up the center of the handle with that line and see how I like that better. It just feels like the strap is kind of being strained to fit that. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, and then I've got 1/2 inch within my seam allowance, and I'm going to baste that on. And then we'll attach the upper lining. I'll do a little snip to find my center. Clip that in place. All right. And then we're going to flip that down and top stitch through that vinyl exterior again, pressing the handles all the way up. And then later on, we can add a rivet through our handles and our exterior. Keep that all in place. Yeah, I feel like that sits nicely, just like that. It's so freaking cute, oh my god. Oh man. And so now you can decide, are you adding your nameplate here? There's room right here, there's room in this little section, there's room up there. Okay, there's a really pretty purpley one. So I'm gonna add this through the center here. I was like, ow, why did that hurt? All right, so this sits at about 10 inches wide, which means 5 is my center. And I want to measure this a little lower so that it's sitting centered in this vinyl piece. And in true Lauren fashion, I'm just eyeballing that. So I'm gonna mark my little snips there, and then I'm gonna add a little piece of foam behind it. Like 1 inch tall, 3 inch wide piece. Okay, let's cover that. Thanks. Foam first, and then the washer. Yeah, that's perfect. Is it centered? Centered enough. All right, I'm gonna pull my zipper pull in about halfway so it's not impeding on anything else. And then I'm gonna decide, what did I decide for my lining? I've got a zipper pocket, okay, and the cargo slip pocket. I think I'm going to get that lining piece ready so I can just baste it all together. I want the cargo pockets to be on the back side, and I want my zippered pocket to be on this side of the lining. So I'm adding foam just to my back panel. So I'm going to mark my centers, top and bottom. I'm going to mark out, ooh, I need to measure my zipper tape first to make sure I have enough for my exterior. Okay, so I'm going to place this at about 2.5 inches down. I'll be honest, before I get started on the straps, I'm like, let's finish more things. Okay, got that centered. And I'm gonna add a little woven label. What do I want it to be? It's mine, so I'm gonna put made with my last F's. This is from Sewing Blurbs. The uncensored edition. So, fun story, since you already saw me do a zipper pocket, I'm not going to explain this one, I'm just going to do it and tell you a story about how my email was hacked this weekend. So, being that I put videos on YouTube, sometimes I'll get emails from potential sponsors of my channel and different videos. And I've done a couple, and I had gotten an email from what I thought was a company called Elgato. And I have some of my lighting equipment and tripods from them, and I really like their products. So when I got what I thought was an email from them, I was pretty excited. So I responded and I was like, yeah, I would definitely be interested. Let me know the details. So about 1.5 weeks later, I got an email back that said to sign up for their affiliate program through Opus Clips, which I had heard of before because it's a legit thing. And I did a little investigating because I am a skeptic. The website looked fine, and it was called like opus.clips.com or something, and I was like, yeah, that is, Opus Clips. What I should have done was look for the Opus website because upon further investigation after, I noticed that the logo was a little bit different. But like I usually check the sender email and make sure that it's not like suspicious and has weird numbers in it or says something different, and it didn't. So it said to use Opus Clips to sign up for their affiliate program, and they wanted access to your YouTube channel, which means you have to approve this login using 2 different devices. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's standard. When I log into Google, sometimes it'll say approve from this, and I'm like, okay. Well, it errored, and I was like, oh crap, that's weird. So I needed to do it again. But what I did not know is that when I did it again, that's when they stole my information. And then within minutes, my password was changed. And I was no longer able to have access to my email, which controls my YouTube channel. Hold on, in case I edit this walking away part out. Yeah, babe. Yeah, babe. Oh, nice. Fun.
You can put it on one of the shelves.
Okay.
From Wednesday on the back of the tag thing. This stuff is from Wednesday. Adams. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Where should I put it? There's a lot of shelves full. I can't.
How about you just set it on my cutting table for now?
Oh, you want it?
On that cutting table? Yeah.
Or if you, hey, what if you used it?
I don't want it here. I don't want it right here, okay?
Okay. I'll just keep it right.
All right, thank you, babe.
If you just ask me if you want it, if you want it.
All right, thank you.
Are these magnets?
They're stickers.
I want some stickers. Pokemon, Derby.
Okay.
Which one should I choose?
Derby.
Okay. You get this one.
Okay, thanks. Actually, can you give it to Daddy?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I actually want to give it to you.
Okay. Okay, continuing my story.
What story?
I was talking about how my email was stolen. What was I saying?
I don't know. I don't know what you were saying.
Okay.
You go back whatever you were saying.
So
I peeled it. I don't
Nice.
know how to peel those, but now I do.
Good job. Where are you going to put it?
On me?
No, don't waste that one. Put it on your crafting table or on the wall by your crafting tables. You can see it all the time and it'll make you happy. So I did everything I could to reach out to Google about it. Then I saw that they went live from my channel. So luckily I was able to log into my YouTube using a friend's email. She is an editor to my channel, which I'm so glad I did, or I would not have been able to end that video. And who knows what damage that could have caused. So I heard back today. It had been 24 hours. And I heard back today, and I got a link to restore my email, which is very cool. However, when I clicked that, they had set up my email as a youth email. So they are my parent. So I emailed Google back, and all I can do now is hope that they get back to me soon so that I can get back into my email, and fix it all. It's February 8th, February 9th, whatever the Super Bowl is today. So yeah, don't be like me. I probably like won't even look at sponsorship emails anymore. I'll be like, no, I don't care. I don't need it. It's not worth it. Whatever it is, it's not worth it. So, yay. I am hoping that as of now, they haven't done anything like permanently damaging to my channel or email. I'm really hoping they don't like delete old videos. I'd be so sad. It is what it is and it happens. And at the end of the day, like, it's my fault. I should not have given access, because technically I did, but I thought it was something legitimate. And that's my story. Hopefully, I've completed the story in a way that makes sense. And I guess this is one of those, like, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. I did report the website, and I reached out to the Opus Clips people, and I was like, hey, someone's using this website to collect data and hack into people's emails. Just a warning. So we'll see if anything comes of that. All right, there is our zipper pocket. And what I can do is place these now right sides together. So that my lining is done. Oops. Didn't snip my center at the top. If you want to use foam for your exterior, both exterior pieces, just make sure it's out of your seam allowances. Okay. My lining piece is a little bit smaller than my exterior, but what I think I can do is I can trim the top off the amount needed. I would rather have that excess gone than try to make it fit when, like, technically this all is the size it should be. Like, because my seam allowance had to vary, like, and the lining is printed to the pattern scale of 80%. So I think I might just trim the top down. Yeah, I think that's probably the best plan. So I'll baste everything first and then trim that little bit. Ooh, actually, I can feel through. You just do not want to over baste because we don't have much seam allowance to play with. Okay, and then I'll just trim this to meet the size of my lining. No biggie. Okay. So that is our front panel completely ready to be turned into a backpack. I think it looks super cute. Yeah. Adorable. I think the colors are really helping with how adorable this is. So I have all these pieces here. I'm going to go ahead and finish the back panel. We have our straps we have to do as well. Okay, so this is my gusset. This is my bottom of my gusset. I am adding foam to that. So I'm going to put this in a different bin. I think foam on the back and the bottom are going to be perfect. Strap piece, straps, strappers. I am not adding foam to my straps. This isn't a huge bag, so I don't think it's super necessary. Okay, that needs to go with my gusset. What are you? I don't know. I don't know. These are connectors. Connectors. These are back pieces. This is my lining. And this is an interior slip pocket. So I'm not adding cargo pockets, my bad. These are my side pockets. I know because I added tape to them. That's my back. This is a slip. This is inside. Okay. So staying organized is hard to do, but we have to. So I'm gonna end my prep work with my gusset. So I'll get my front completely done. I'll get the back completely done, lining as well, and then we'll just work on gusset so that when the gusset is done, we just put it all together. All right. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to prep my back slip pocket. All I did was I cut the same lower panel twice out of my exterior piece. And I'm gonna fold this down by 1/4 of an inch. And if you wanted to, you could add lining to this piece, but I don't wanna add a bunch of bulk. So I'm just gonna top stitch that just as it is. And I'm gonna find the bottom center and snip. And then I'll find the bottom center of this and snip that as well. So we'll be able to line that up. And so right now I'm just going to clip it down at the bottom. I can fold things out of the way as needed. So that's ready for now. We can add that accent piece really quick. Again, I just want to get as many little pieces out of the way as possible. And I'm going to do that almost 3/8, making sure not to go through that slip pocket we just added. And then we'll top stitch up through the exterior. You could also add the same zippered pocket that's on the front to the back if you wanted to do that. No rules against it. And I'm going to clip this all the way into place now. And let's see how much webbing do we need for these pieces? 2 24-inch lengths. Yeah, babe. Okay, well, what's not feeling good?
Everything, even my brain.
Oh, no. I think you probably need water.
My juice box.
You need just water. Go get some water.
I don't want water.
I understand you may not want water, but that's what your body is telling you it needs. 9 inches long. So I'm going to cut the webbing first, and then whatever's left over is going to be the dangles, because I don't think it needs to be 24 inches. That's just like calling it safe. Okay, so there's that. Oh, okay, let's see. Oh, that's 17 inches. That's probably not enough. It's gonna have to be. You'll be fine. Okay. So I'm gonna clip these together. And I use the strap connector from the Dreamer pack from Fierce Kittens. That's my preferred little back connector. So I'm just gonna set that out of the way for right now, so we can focus on our handles and our straps. I'm gonna finish my handle so that way it's just ready to go. I like to do all of my little simple prep work as soon as I can. Okay, so we're gonna do 2.5 inches again. Top stitch along the open end. Bobbin's about to give out. I'm gonna say, will it make it? Backpack straps added first. Yeah, and then the handle. So really quick, I'm just gonna measure and mark that 1/2 inch. That'll be within the seam allowance. set that up and out of the way. So now, again, I truly have no idea what this was supposed to be. Maybe zipper tab?
Yay.
Or maybe I was gonna add one D-ring? Yeah, maybe just one.
Do you need to cut some thread yet?
I don't. Do you know where to find a 1/2-inch D-ring in my hardware?
No.
I don't think so. Nice.
You want a face stand?
No, I'm okay.
It's okay. I can keep this up if you need.
This is all Evermore clawing at my rug.
So on my feet too. She's the worst kitty. What are these gonna be?
So these are little overlays for the backpack straps. We're gonna add tape to the back.
Can I put them on?
Mm-hmm.
Ready to cut.
Mm-hmm.
That is okay.
Yeah, we can rip that off.
Okay, so peel it off.
Oh, not yet. Let's add.
I got it.
Okay.
And let me move it aside. Okay, that's just the size. See?
Mm-hmm.
So, rip it.
I'm not gonna worry about adding stitches to this piece. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard ripping.
Oh. Here.
Ah!
Alrighty, there we go.
Now we can peel it off.
Yes.
I'm gonna use this one.
Okay.
Okay, ready, steady, go.
Okay, you're doing one, I'm doing one?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we'll
Look.
fold that in half. Nice
worked.
job.
Fold it. Fold it. You said?
Not all the way on it. You want to fold it in half.
Oh, okay, like that.
Uh-huh. And then the other side will fold to meet this line. Okay, yep, just like that. Good job. Great job.
Wow! I am a bag. I am a bag. You can put whatever stuff in me. Is it gonna have little handles?
No. Well, those aren't. All right, thanks for your help.
Oh, just now?
Yeah, just for now.
Oh. Oh, I like to move that.
Just a little bit. Okay. So now we're gonna grab one from each side and we'll know.
Sorry. I'm so sorry, Mommy.
We'll know which one's which because I rough cut one side and made the other look really nice. Really nice. And these wiggle out. Yep. Wiggle in, then out. Okay. Okay. So.
Dad's using it.
Yeah. What I like to do first is I'm gonna lay my little strap accent piece into place, and I'm gonna sew the top first. Yeah, that's good. Okay.
Mom.
Yes, baby. And we're going to insert our webbing. And we want to match the angle of the webbing, just like that. I'll clip that into place, and then I'm going to slide the snap hook just right over top of that. Although I think I want to kind of offset that bulk just by a little bit. There we go. Okay. So now that I've got that set into place, I will top stitch this probably a total of 3 more times. Actually, I'll just do it a total of 3 times. I'll go right in the middle. And then I'll trim that excess away. And then for right now, that's all we're gonna do to this piece. I wanna fold this up and out of the way. And then we're gonna repeat that on the other side, mirrored. So lay that piece down, clip that into place. And if you're adding a D-ring on both sides, make sure you add that. And I'll slide this up into the seam, make sure it fits the guidelines, and then I'll top stitch this 2 more times. This one definitely looks better than the other one, but that's okay. And then I'll trim off the excess. And then we'll fold that up out of the way, and we'll attach the other side, right sides together, lining up that top edge. And I cut this with quite a bit of excess on purpose. So we just want to make sure that we clip it nice and flat. And I'm going to do like that same seam allowance in between 3/8 and 1/4. And if you still want foam on your strap, I would recommend cutting your foam down by your seam allowance and then inserting it after. It's just going to be less of a hassle to turn. There it went the bobbin. Goodbye. I need that back. Okay, goodbye. Now, where was I? Hey, Dorothy. Dorothy, can you pick something up for me?
What do you need?
I dropped a handle on the floor.
Oh, I was trying to make a video.
It's right there on the floor.
Oh.
Come around. Yeah. What's your video about? Can you pick it up for me? Dang it. Savage. definitely want to make sure you backstitch on that, and then I'm going to trim the excess down. I don't plan on trimming my seam allowance, I'm just trimming my other side. You could add some snips into that curve of the bottom. All right, there's that one. So now we'll clip this together, matching the top edge and the sides. And pressing all that bulk as flat as you possibly can so that you don't distort the size of the strap. If, unfortunately, my straps don't fit because I don't have more webbing, it'll just be Dorothy's backpack. Or I could sew a little piece of something to my webbing to make it longer, but I think it might just work. It just might work. Ben, what are you doing? Okay. I'll pick up my handle. Oh, gosh. Put that back. All right, we need to turn this now. What time is it? Okay, 4:30. Okay. I'm gonna grab the hemostats and try to grab the bottom of this strap. Otherwise, we're fighting a lot of the bulk. What you want to try to do is, like I said, start with the bottom and push that through. And then try to wiggle what's furthest away up and over. So now that we've got that turned, you okay? What's wrong? You feeling sleepy? No? Are you hungry? Okay. Something wrong? What's wrong? Huh?
I'm just sick.
Sick? Yeah.
Guess what?
What?
I have a donut that we're going to get.
Hey, why don't you go tell your dad you're not feeling great? Go tell your dad you're not feeling great. He'll get you some water. Maybe he'll find some electrolytes for you. Those are good for you. Electrolytes.
What are those?
They make you electric, like Pikachu. Oh, okay. Okay, so we'll wiggle that flat.
Look at my feet.
Now you're a mermaid donut.
No, like the dress.
Okay, we're gonna flatten that. Yeah, I think the strap feels fine without the interfacing, but you could definitely still add it. I would just make sure to insert it through there after the fact. Hey Dorothy, could you not play with those, please? And if you're going to, can you do it upstairs? Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Take them upstairs if you want to play with them.
I love to play with the bell.
Okay, that's fine. All right. So let's go ahead and turn the other one. Start by folding that under. Dorothy, will you stop yelling, please? Well, push her out of the way. Don't touch her butt.
I'm touching up here
Oh, okay,
of her butt.
okay. Okay, so we'll reach in.
Not her real butt. Her butt's disgusting. Her butt's disgusting. You want to see her? That's her butt.
So, doing my best. Kind of doing it a little differently than last time.
She's really against me.
Mm-hmm.
Kissing kitten. You want to kiss her?
Mm-hmm.
Now you don't because she's a bad kitten. No.
Might be able to do it without the hemostats. This is where you really test your stitches, the strength of your thread. So right now the part I'm struggling to get over is just that little vinyl accent. I think, by George, we've got it.
You scratched me.
No, she thought you were playing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'm just clipping my seam allowance nice and flat. And then we'll top stitch. And you want to kind of roll that seam allowance out flat so you can see your stitches. I mean, like, you shouldn't be able to see your stitches, but you know what I mean. Like, you can see where the thread is holding the fabric together, which technically is your stitches. We're doing great. All right, so now we'll top stitch that. The way the stitches look on this recycled nylon, so pretty. And then if you don't want to add 2 rows of stitching, you don't have to. I'm just gonna do the 1. I think that looks nice. And if I did 2, I might not get them lined up as evenly because of certain distractions. So I'm just gonna do the 1.
Is everybody following what you say?
Maybe. I don't know. Dorothy asked, is everybody following what you do? Okay, sorry, she didn't want me to tell you. My arms hurt now.
What?
I said my arms hurt now
Why?
from top stitching all that and turning them, and my hands aren't used to that.
Everybody's cleaning herself.
Yeah.
Don't lick your butt.
So the
Lick
teeth
your butthole.
should be at the bottom on the back side.
You better not lick your butthole,
Dorothy, stop.
Mom.
What?
I bet she doesn't like licking her butthole. to
Stop.
clean it.
Stop. Okay, we're gonna clip that under to what looks comfortable.
Guess what? I'm putting this stuff in here so she doesn't get it.
Teeth at the bottom of the back,
Mom, I'm
going
putting
through the
this
middle.
stuff in here so everyone doesn't get it. Look.
Smart.
See?
Uh-huh.
Close.
Nice.
So, watch this. Look, I put it on the floor and she went. And then she can't get my small toy.
Good. Okay, and then I'm gonna pull these down a little bit so that they're sitting evenly. And then we're just gonna sew across the webbing at the bottom, starting under the D-ring, going around. I don't have a D-ring, but yeah. And then if you would like to mark that out, you can. Just gonna eyeball where I want it to start. There's one finished. And then we'll get this other one. So I'm going to start about an inch down. You could even add like a 1-inch D-ring to this technically if you wanted. And just slide it on the webbing after. And then I didn't add any kind of, no, please, it's wobbling at the bottom. I don't want you to break it and hurt yourself.
I have one next to my worried I'm so cloudy.
Okay, well, try to push her away a little bit.
No.
She's just sitting there. What? She thinks you're playing.
No.
Well, you're near her cat tree.
No. If I leave her tree, she'll move.
She might, yeah. Careful. Make sure you tighten that back up. It turns to loosen, so turn it right. Are you okay?
It landed on my foot.
Rub it, rub it, rub it.
This?
Yeah. Is it tightening? Feels like it's getting tighter? Or no?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and these should wiggle in towards each other.
Yeah. Everyone's not moving.
Okay, Dorothy, I can't help you.
How am I going to play? If everyone's not moving.
Oh, goodness gracious. Alrighty, so now I really don't want these to have much space in between them. So I think I'm going to measure, I'm going to make a snip at the center so that I can see it on this side. And then I'm going to make them have like a 1-inch gap, I think. They wiggle in. And I'm going to lay my 1-inch ruler in between them. Yeah. Because I don't want them too close to the edge. Again, this is a small backpack. Dorothy, that's enough with the bell. Please.
Try to get her to come over here. By shaking it. See?
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then we're measuring that 2 1/4 like we did on the exterior. And that is where I'm going to want the center of this handle to go at that 1/2 inch. So I'm going to baste my straps on first, just as they are. Yes, yes, on top of that accent.
I got it through. I got it through, Dad. Mom.
Great
Why
job.
do I always call you Dad?
Guess I'm your dad.
No. I'm just gonna sit.
Jeez. Okay. Got the center lined up with that. Add that 1/2 inch. And it's actually kind of like at the edge of the strap. Okay. And then we don't trim any excess. We want that to remain just as it is. Oh, we would have wanted 1/2 inch, but I don't want to lose any more because, you know. So we'll line up the center of the top accent. Because my webbing is a little shorter and the strap is already 80% smaller, I don't want to lose another 1/2 inch. Okay, I'm going to do a 3/8 inch seam allowance here so that there's less excess at the top. I don't know, it's probably a really bad idea. Okay, and then we're gonna lift all this up and top stitch through the vinyl accent and the bulk of the straps, etc. And then this is where you would add a box stitch under those handles and straps. But I am just gonna do another row of stitching because with this size, we're not gonna be putting 50 pounds in here. So I'm just gonna do another little row of stitching through all that.
Turning and twisting. Take a break of that.
Take a break of that?
Yeah, because your arms hurt.
Oh, thanks.
And it makes you look. I'll just smash together.
I'll baste my slip pocket on really quick.
Do you need to smash it flat?
No, not yet.
And make it flat? How about now?
What?
Hey, put the extra bits in here.
Next time.
Okay.
So now we've got, goodness, they came out, our webbing pieces. So the way this piece from...
You need to cut this stuff.
No, it's okay. Fierce Kittens
can't you
works
cut
is
this
we
stuff?
just fold it at the
Why can't you
notch.
cut this?
Creates a little paper boat.
Why do you...
I need my threads long there.
Why?
And then we're going to fold that in half
You need to smash.
and encase our webbing
What is this?
there.
Is this a piece of hair?
Yeah.
I'm just going to put it in my smasher.
And then you'll want to invert these so that way when they go on the bag,
It's your hair, so...
they're inverse of each
I'm
other.
just going to put your hair in the smasher.
I'm going to stitch across the bottom edge and then both folded edges. And then I'm going to stitch across where the webbing is a second time. About 1/4 of an inch, just to help reinforce that. And then trim off the little excess fold, and then that's ready to stick on the side here. And I'm just lining it up right above the curve. Dorothy, stop, you're gonna scuff my table.
Just cutting it.
As if I don't already scuff my table. Okay, so across the bottom once, the open end, and then we're sewing across the folded ends. And then any inconsistency we want to just trim off. We don't have enough wiggle room to leave it. And then we'll make that even across the side there. And then I'll baste those down. No, the back's done.
Oh.
But
Is it gonna be a backpack?
yeah.
Is it gonna be a rainbow one?
Kind of, yeah. So then what we're gonna do is you're gonna go over the center, over that textured center bar, and then back down. And that way the teeth of that locking slide adjuster are touching the webbing. Okay. And then I'm just gonna fold this under for now, and I'll top stitch it later. I'll just clip it. Just fold that on itself. I love the little slip pocket. I am going to add that lining now. Okay. That way, front and back are finished. So this is going to be our lining slip pocket. If you want to make this lined, you could cut out two, but I'm just going to keep that as a single folded edge and top stitch. I'm using waterproof canvas light. Over time this will and can fray, but this seam right here I'm not super worried about. And now what we're going to do, press this up against our foam, lay this down, clip it together, and then just do a quick little baste. If you do not want your foam in the seam allowance, you could trim it down and fuse it into place, but I don't want to fuse this. So there's our slip pocket. All right. So this piece is a little bit easier to put all together because it doesn't have our 3D pocket. So hopefully everything will sit nicely. Yep, everything's the right size. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to baste this according to my exterior. Again, we want to stay in that 1/8 to 1/4. And I will be using a 3/8 to put it all together. Okay. And then I'll trim my excess foam out of the way. Okay. And then we'll just take a quick break. What? Yeah, Dad. He's probably hungry. Hello. Adding my zipper pulls. There's that. we're gonna work on our pockets. Goodbye. I'm gonna pull up the pattern just to be safe. Got all of my interiors done. I'm not doing any of the elasticized pockets. It's just not necessary for what I'm doing, for my desired effect. So I'm going to move all the pieces that I don't need yet just over to the side. And then just like we did for the front gusset, we're going to add double-sided tape where our zipper is going to go. And just make sure you're pressing that tape down firmly so that when we go to peel off the backing, it doesn't lift. From the fabric. Obviously, we want the paper backing to lift. Lift off. Alrighty, so we'll start with half right now. And when I'm working with double-sided tape, instead of peeling the paper off, I peel the fabric off. And I find it's a little less finicky. Now we're adding the lining to that same edge. And I'm gonna do a 3/8, well, just about a 3/8. Finger pressing that so we get it nice and straight. And then I can press the rest. Ooh, just so nicely. And now we can grab either the lining or the exterior, doesn't matter. Peel that. I'll lay that down, and then I'll line this up. Lining should be right sides together, and then our exterior will be right side together. Just looking over and seeing the mess that Dorothy has made all over. It's okay. Press that. Okay. I love the size of this gusset, despite it being a smaller bag, like a smaller version. And this is the 80% measurements, give or take. We're going to attach the side panels. And I am adding little slip pockets to the side. And the side panels should match the width. And when I cut these out, I clipped it at the top so I would know which way was which. So I'm just clipping right sides together, and I'm going to sew this at about 3/8. Get yourself together. If this gusset ends up a little bit shorter, what I'm going to be able to do is just add some snips, and hopefully that'll fix all my problems. And I'm just top stitching through the exterior. I just like the look of that because we're going to end up basting it all down anyway, and it's less bulk to top stitch through. All right, so then we're adding that other side of the gusset, lining right sides together. Exterior, right sides together. No, yeah. For some reason that camera just stops filming and I'm like, why are you doing that? Please don't do that. So now we need to add those pockets. And I am just going to be folding the top edge down and top stitching. If you want the elastic pocket, you still could technically add it and just shrink it down. You just want to make sure that your casing will fit whatever elastic you decide. And I would think you would still want the 1-inch elastic. Just for like strength. That's not really something you'd want to use fold over elastic for, as it isn't quite strong enough for that, in my opinion. Okay, so I cut this to be a little bit wider. So we're going to line this up to the side here. Make sure our lining is flat. Line it up with the side. Top edge, and then repeating that, lining up the bottom. And the side. And I'm just going to kind of mimic the Deedle Bug, where it's like a little pleat. Just a little tiny pleat there. And then we'll top stitch that down. So I just wrapped it around that 1-inch ruler. And I'll go ahead and baste this side. And then we'll sew this into place. And clip that together. And then we'll line up the bottom here. Just wrapped it around my ruler, clipping that. And then carrying on. Okay. And then we're going to trim our excess. I see it's a little bit shorter on that side, but I don't think it's going to be a huge issue. Oh, and I need to baste that open side still. And then we're going to trim this. Otherwise, this will get in the way when we go to put everything together. And I knew this would happen because I rough cut my lining, so I am not worried about it. Okay, baste this side. Now we just have 2 pieces left of the gusset. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So let me see how we're doing here. Make sure this is all even. Okay, so I'm gonna trim up this bit down here. It's a little uneven. It's off by like 1/8, which is not the end of the world, but since my lining was a little bit short on one side, like I just don't want that to create bigger problems for me. So I'm gonna snip my centers now, which is a bold move on my part, because who knows when I attach these what could happen. But that'll help me, yeah, stay a little bit closer. See, that's now more correctly sized. Lining sides together. I'm gonna flip this over. I'll go ahead and baste this really quick. Okay, I think I'm gonna measure 5/8 and top stitch it. I'll do 3/4. And I'll top stitch it at a 3/4 seam allowance. And then I'm gonna trim the foam because I don't want it in my seam allowance, if I'm being honest. It's just gonna make binding it that much harder. And like all of putting it together that much harder. This would definitely be a cute one to add purse feet to because it is so small, but I'm not going to do that. Could also do like a little X through this to kind of compress the foam a little bit more, but I don't think that's going to be necessary. So yeah, we'll trim just the foam. And then I'll wipe that pen line off. I'm just trying to envision. I don't want the X. I think it would be more than I want going on visually. So we'll line that up. And I'm going to do about 3/8. And then just like the other side, I'm only stitching through the exterior. And then that 3/8 again. Flip this. Oh. Well, that's a bummer. I can't stitch just through the exterior on this side, but that's okay. That's okay. who's gonna know? Just us. Moving that out of the way. Pressing that flat. Okay. And then we're just gonna baste. What's wrong with you? Oh, that's kind of fun looking though. Oh, we ran out of bobbin. Would you looky there? Can I have bobbin back? Got a thread stuck. There we go. It's the final bobbin. I love how I was like, that doesn't sound good, but kept going anyway. Why did you do that? Okay. Lost my base stitch up here, so I'm just going to put that back. I don't want to risk anything peeling away. And that means we need to trim up any inconsistencies in our gusset and rematch the centers. I'm very happy with the way I've decided to do the foam at the bottom as well. All right, everything still lines up. So I'm gonna snip that both sides. Here we go. And because the zipper panel is the exact same size, it's just split down the middle. It doesn't matter which side we start with. So just pick your favorite. I'm gonna grab binding as well. And I have this like purpley pinky green one that I think is perfect. So we'll do that. I'm just gonna put this, I do have a top. Top snip together. Here you go back. Okay. So terribly paranoid about my audio. I'm going to be really sad if the gusset is too big somehow. I would much rather the gusset be a little bit too small, and that is why I went with that 3/8 inch seam allowance. But we shall see. I love the way the bottom of the bag kind of peeks up. The first time I made this, I did not add vinyl to the base, and it's less visually impactful in that way, I guess. So I'm excited to have done it this way now. All right, I'm working my way up the same exact way on both sides before I start trying to make my way across that curve at the top. It's definitely feeling small, and I'm okay with that. It looks equally small. What I'm gonna do is just snip every 3/8 or so at a quarter of a snip, and see if that'll get us closer. If it does not, what I'm going to do is re-clip and add snips to the bottom so that we can try to get there. Okay, let me clean up my clips. Get some more. This might not get me there. Which I'm not mad about. So what I can do now is unclip the sides, and we will keep the bottom clipped, and we'll add some snips there as well. Had I done a smaller seam allowance, I probably would not have to clip as much. So if you're shrinking it down, maybe stick to that 3/8 to a quarter. I did a true quarter, and it probably would fit better if I hadn't. I just was worried. All right, we can trim off that little corner piece and make sure that is completely flush. And then as I'm pushing this down, I'm making sure that the snips are spreading out to give me that little extra wiggle room. And then I'm gonna stop at the pockets because this bag is small and we don't want our pockets to be uneven. Okay, they look good. And so now I'll press, yeah, we got it. Press those snips into the top corners of the bag. And when I do that, I'm hanging it off the edge of the table so that I can maneuver the snips into the corners, hold that, and get a clip over that free edge. R.I.P. Poor, tired, overworked clip. All right, bottom, bottom, top, top. Let's not have gotten this far just to mess it up. All right, this is going to be close to 3/8, and then once I bind it, I will sew it at 3/8. All right, now we're coming up on a spot with a little bit of bulk because of that front curved pocket. So just go slow. You can use a screwdriver to help you press those layers flat. And now we're going to trim up any uneven spots. Which we hope there aren't many, but we are also human. Wrap that around to measure. Tape that. So I am using bag binding that I sell on my website. It's kind of like grosgrain ribbon, but not. It's nice and thin, it doesn't fray, it's easy to apply. It is just 1 inch wide, so we're just going to fold it over the edge. And we're going to tape it centered over. But you can bind with whatever method you prefer. You could use fold over elastic, could do, you know, double fold bias tape, make your own. You could use waterproof canvas and then cut off excess. There's so many options. You could also like pre-fold this in half, or maybe kind of iron it a little bit if you can't find the center visually. Or even use like an air erasing marker. Just work quick because it erases in the air. And then I just stretch. It doesn't have any stretch, but I'm just kind of pulling it. And then this end is the only end that would fray, and I'll just fold that over. And center that and clip it. And then we'll sew that on. With as close to that 3/8 as we can. And then I'll use my screwdriver to help me press that corner down. And as I do this, I'm just hoping for the best on the back side. So that's why this might not be a preferred fault-finding method, but I feel like it works pretty well for me. But of course, with anything, practice makes better. Check it from the other side. It's mostly caught. And then I'll take a lighter and just melt the rest. If there are any glaringly terrible places, I will just go back in. It's going to be a smaller seam allowance, so it's not going to show on the outside of the bag. And depending on where the issue is, you're never going to see it. See? You just throw it on the ground. You never know. Just throwing everything everywhere. All right. So if you want to check it, you can. I'll be honest, I don't want to, but I'm going to. I feel pretty confident in it though, and I think my confidence is correct. I'm a little worried that the top of my bag is going to be a little crooked, but it will be fine. Okay, so top, bottom orientation is correct. Some people might say you need to leave your zippers unzipped right now. However, I'm not using locking slide adjusters or anything like that, so I can easily just move it. So I'm not worried about unzipping it because I don't want to lose the shape of the bag accidentally somehow. Okay, I'm clipping my top and my bottom. I already know from doing the exterior that we're going to have to snip our gusset. We are not going to be snipping the exterior panel, we're snipping the gusset. And you want to start those snips where the curve starts. Okay. And then pressing those curves into the bag. We've got a little extra bulk over here with the strap connector. Clipping to the pocket, and then I'm going to start on the other side. Pushing the curve off the corner of the table. And you can definitely staple these curves. You're just going to remove the staples when you're done. I was helping somebody with a bag and I was like, and what we're going to do now is staple it. And she looked at me like I had 17 heads growing out of my neck, and it was the best moment. I was like, yeah, staple, baby. Staples. Okay. What we do to one side, we want to do to the other. And now I will unzip it just so I can better get this corner where it all needs to go. And you just want to make sure that you don't have any buckling along that. Because otherwise you're going to have weird puckers. Okay. And so long as your gusset is clipped the same uneven amount on both sides, you will be fine. And that is only for this small version of the bag where our measurements were a little chaotic, not on the normal bag. You don't want that. All right, smashing it down and sewing close to that 3/8, but not quite, so that we can then bind at 3/8. And that top edge is a little uneven, but it is the same uneven on both sides. So just keep that as consistent as possible. We're going to trim down the back. And the reason we're trimming the excess off and not just binding over it is because if we don't do that, we're not going to be able to get that consistent 3/8 when we add our binding. Just clips everywhere. Okay, still film and still film. I'm going to take a second to clean up because when we finish this binding and turn the bag, it's pretty much done. We have the option of being able to add rivets to our handles should we choose. And that's just going to depend on how much they want to like open. I'm really happy with the structure of the bag at this point. I think it feels nice. Once we turn it, it's going to be even better. We've got this nice zipper pocket here. There's a zipper pocket on the front within that same space. And then we've got our exterior and interior slip pockets. And that foam only on the back side, which I think helps balance out all that's going on in the front. with those pockets. And I still think this could be like a super cute mini diaper bag if you were using this as a diaper bag pattern. And just imagine like making both as like a little matching set. Could also be like mommy and me situation. When you add a D-ring to that grab handle, when you add your rivet to that grab handle, you could also attach a D-ring there. That would be cute on the front. Had not thought about that until just now. Yeah, that bottom, having that extra foam is going to be nice too. Foam on the whole thing would just be too much. E.T. foam home. Okay, hopefully we have enough thread for binding. And I am putting my clips away as I go. Nothing major, just missed, like just barely over here. Okay, so now we're ready to turn this. Table is cleared. We're going to start by pressing the base through. I love how there's cat hair all over it, but just kind of wipes away. It's nice. Okay, pressing against the seam. No idea where those threads came from. That's okay. And then you want to press the binding into the top and bottom seams to the best of your ability. Oh, I love the straps without the foam. Even a little bit of fleece in them might have been nice too, but I still think it's okay. I never did top stitch that, but I wanted to make sure it would still fit me. At the smallest setting. We'll try that. We'll fix this front real quick. Pop that out. Bottom seems good. This purple is super pretty. Don't know if I should. I probably won't rivet the handles on just because I'm worried it's going to make it a little more obvious that my top is uneven. But this is so cute. I'm just gonna zhuzh it out nicely. Grab handles still work. And I think too you could kind of train them to sit together or create a little snap tab. I like the side pockets a lot. I like how they're a little less obvious without the elastic. Oh yeah, that still fits. So I'll go ahead and top stitch that really quick. And I just do a couple back stitches off the side to lock that in. And then repeat it on the other one, just feeding them both through. And then I'll cut it and take a lighter to it. Okay, that is it. She is finished. I love it so much. It's so cute. I'm very happy with how it turned out. I love all the pockets. That's a great one there. Holds so much stuff in this, and yet so little compared to the original. So I hope this inspires you to, you know, take chances, make something hard and different, and have fun with it. Bye.